Football. Quarter number 2 begins as they've got it, staring down a 3rd and 13.
All right, let's take a look at the changing of the guards here. We got Davis Mills for the Texans, Max Brosmer for the Vikings.
Mills to throw. And he'll be taken down, but they are in business inside the 30-yard line. That's his first reception of the ballgame, and it really comes at a good time as they get the conversion on 3rd down.
Great pre-snap recognition here by the quarterback. He looks outside and sees man coverage, and he knows exactly where he's going to go with the ball. Now it's up to the receiver to create separation at the top of the route. Ball's on time, great placement, nice big pickup.
Now Chubb. He's going to be marked down at the 12-yard line.
16.
That's a gain of 16. This offense is coming. A first down.
Nice job by him getting the back to the perimeter. Then he's able to get outside, stick his foot in the ground, and then get vertical. Right down the numbers. Those are the type of runs this offense wants to see more of going forward.
Once again. He gets a yard out of that one. It's 2nd down.
A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8.
Stay on the ground with Nick Chubb. Touchdown, Houston.
You just don't see these kind of holes too often at this NFL level, Mike. And you can see once he got the ball, the clear line to the end zone, he doesn't get touched. And an unfortunate defensive breakdown here ends up costing him 6 points.
Now Payne Fairbairn on for the extra point. He knocks it through. And the Texans take a 10-3 lead.
Vikings 3.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn to kick it off. Out comes the Minnesota offensive unit as they get set to take over. Just the lone field goal for them so far. Down 10-3 in this one. And they'll start 1st and 10. This is Jordan Mason. He is met and dropped. A couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage, too.
I can promise you that is not how they wanted to start this drive, Mike. I mean, to get blown up at the point of attack, There was just nowhere for the back to go on that run.
Here's a 2nd and 12. Operating out of the gun is Bozeman. He's brought down. That pass is going to pick up 4 and bring up 3rd down.
A bit of a quick hitter here, and what you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot, but they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short gain. He still tried to fit the ball in there anyway, and it ended up falling incomplete. I think if he goes through his progressions and has a little bit more trust in his protection, I think there's an easier throw to make out there.
So on 4th down, out comes Ryan Wright to punt for Minnesota. Braxton Berrios deep for Houston. Take this in, 16. That's a nice play. He's got 9 goals in his offense. He takes it back to the 25-yard line. Texans offense and their star running back, Big Chuck, set to take over once more. They lead by a touchdown as this drive begins with 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Chuck. Somewhere to turn this into positive rate, struggling forward for a pickup of about 2.
Nice job by the running back making the first guy miss, but it's the pursuit by the entire defense. Even though he doesn't get him down on his first try, the rest of his guys are all rallying to the ball, and they bring him down for a short gain.
From the 29, here's 2nd down and 7. Throwing is Mills. Intercepted. And he's going to be looking at a good deal for the offense. After the other team take the tie the game or even take the lead.
The best way, Mike, for a defense to bait these bad throws is don't allow the quarterback to throw the ball to their first read. By the time he gets to the 3rd or 4th read, in this case, the defender has already put himself in position, jump that route, challenge the receiver, and that's a big-time takeaway.
The Vikings offense makes their way back out to the field for their next possession. They can get back into this quickly now. Very short field ahead. It is 1st and 10.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 23-yard line.
From the 23, here's 2nd and 6. Off the play fake, here's Bozeman. That'll be a short pickup, but not enough for the 1st down.
That's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 1.
Third and a yard. A run. Impressive. He will not be
real tight, so as a play caller, you're thinking, all right, let's give my running back a chance to stretch and cut. This defense was ready for all of it. They string him out wide, nowhere to cut, take him down for a loss.
So they send in Will Reichert for this field goal try. This one will be from 37 yards out. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Vikings cut the lead to 4. It's 10-6.
And I can tell you firsthand, like, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
Reichert had the field goal a moment ago. They got it now to kick this one away. Here comes a return from the 5. Now he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Texans offense getting those helmets back on, ready to head out for their next possession. The lead sits at 4. So they'll try to add on to that. This drive begins with 1st and 10. From the 35, here's 2nd and 1. We're toss to Chubb. And that's good enough for the 1st down. It's a gain of 2.
This offense, they're not interested in taking the deep shot. 2nd and short, the way they're running the ball, pound the rock, reset the downs, and just keep the drive alive.
Line of scrimmage is the 37-yard line for 1st and 10. Mills now. He's going to look. He's missed a couple of times. To the ground. It's incomplete. Nick Chubb, the intended target there. And it'll bring up 2nd down. Here's Chubb. And they get this one across midfield to the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 16 yards. Pick up on that one. 1st down for Houston.
And we're starting to see the fruits of their labor paying off here. I mean, they've used this run game to throw a bunch of body blows throughout the entire contest. And while some of the carries didn't result in much at the time, it's clear they're starting to take its toll on this defense.
Here's Mills.
Dropping a catchable ball is one of the worst feelings. It feels like the entire stadium is laughing at you, and all I know is firsthand, you just want to get another opportunity to put that one behind you.
He'll try again here. 2nd and 10. They run out of the gun, and it's Chubb. Pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more.
So 3rd down and 9.
3rd and 9. To throw is Mills. This one complete to Bryant. That's his 1st comes at a good time as they get the conversion on third down.
Texans first down. First and 10.
And this is what can happen when you're so worried about protecting the sticks, Mike. You force them to throw the ball underneath, but then you've got to be able to rally the ball and tackle. But they weren't able to do it before he gets to the line to gain, and he ends up picking up the first down anyway.
Here's a handoff to Clark. This takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. Give him 15 more on that. On the move. It's a first down.
This offensive line continues to be very physical at the point of attack. They've been able to give their backs plenty of room to run. And that's why they've already eclipsed the century mark here in the opening half.
So here's a first and 10 now down inside the 20. Here's the Florida Gator, David Pierce. Not much happened there, just a short gain.
18-yard line. 1-yard gain. Brings up second and 9.
Here's a second and 9. Now Mills. Incomplete. Good job. Textbook there, separating the man from the ball. And bring up third down.
All things considered, it's actually a pretty good pass. I mean, he puts the ball in a place where only his guy can catch it. But I think he hears those footsteps coming from that nearest defender, and he's not able to secure the catch through contact.
On third down, they'll throw from the gun. And a great job here defensively. They did not let him get away. Well short of the first down mark. So now a timeout for the Vikings. That is their first, as we'll discuss what's to come. It's fourth down is looming. So instead of going for the first down, in comes the field goal unit. Bit of a surprise here. Officially a 29-yard attack. He's good. And the Texans add on to their lead.
It's always a little bit of a letdown, though. You find yourself deep in the red zone and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
Fairbairn, after making the field goal, heads back out to kick this one away. The Vikings offense is now ready to take over once more. They'll be looking to answer back. They trail 13-6 and start this one with first and 10.
He does a nice job coming from his safety position, filling his run gap assignment, and keeps this to a modest gain at best.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's second down and 9. Here is Roseman. That's the veteran of several teams, Mario Edwards, in for the sack. It is a loss of 8, and now it's third down.
Defense came out in a soft zone, and I think it caught the quarterback a little off guard. He was trying to attack them downfield. By the time he was able to get through his progression to his check down, he ran out of time, and that's all the pass rush needed to get into the backfield and bring him down.
So, backed up after the sack, and now it's 3rd and long. Perfectly done. It's Bosworth. Taking off here, trying to get there. Now get into the slide here, but it's going to be well short of the first down.
And that's a great job defensively here on 3rd down. Not only taking away all the options down the field through the air, but when the quarterback decides to turn into a runner himself, they're able to converge and make the play and keep him short of the first down.
Here's Ryan Wright now as he's on to punt for the 2nd time. Making sure that the turn is not going anywhere. The Texans offense will start in the picture, set to take over once more. They'll begin with 1st and 10.
First down. A gain of 12.
The ability to be effective on 1st down, Mike, it just makes everything else easier. In the event you do have to face a 3rd down the road, they're usually a lot more manageable situations, a lot easier to convert.
Setting up 2nd and short.
And he has been a handful to deal with throughout this entire contest, Mike. And they came into the game saying, we want to impose our will on the defense, and that's exactly what they've been able to do.
Just shy of midfield, here's 2nd down and a yard. Now give to Chubb, running right. He's stopped in his court.
We know from talking to these coaches this week, Mike, that they think they got themselves a steal. They got this young rookie maybe a little later in the draft than a lot of people expected. And I'll tell you what, they're not complaining. They think they've got themselves a starter and a star for a long time.
3rd down, 3 to go. Now they'll set up to play. And he will have the 1st down. The drive will continue after a pickup of 8.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Minutes here in this 1st half. We'll have more from Minneapolis after this. They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. A run up the middle with Chubb. And 2nd down.
He's brought down at the 42-yard line. A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
Look to throw. And then pulled in by White. And the listeners close to a first down, maybe just a tad short.
And it's third down.
They'll look to pick this up, 3rd and a yard. They're trying to run here, and it's checked. And he's not going to get the first down. They met him down the backfield on 3rd and short.
Well, this seems pretty straightforward. 3rd and 1, just dial up a run play and run straight downhill. But this defense had other plans. They were ready and expecting that run, and they're able to take the ball carrier down for a loss.
Kind of be fair, Barron, coming on to try the field goal. Spotted at the 45. This is a 55-yard attempt. 3 for 3 in the game, as this one is also good. And the Texans tack on 3 more, extending the lead here late in the first half.
We will be right back with this halftime. This is Fast Talking Eddie, Pirate Radio broadcast, Madden 26, a brand new season.